what's going on, guys? It's me, Parth, and I have been using the iPhone 7 for almost 2 months now, and so I really wanted to share what I feel is wrong with 7 or the iPhone in general, and wanted to praise the things that the iPhone is still best at. So the first time I saw it, it was in someone else's hand, and it sure looked very attractive, but after getting up and close with the same, it kind of looks just normal. I mean, it's not something that will leave you 3 feet up in the air, rather it's a very predictable, not so new design. In fact, I could only notice 3 major differences in terms of design, even though it's not an S upgrade. The first one being that the front edges are much more softer now and they feel a lot better while you're scrolling. Plus, it looks very soothing. The second is, of course, the much more cleaner back, especially on the black color because you barely notice the antenna lines now. And the third one is the camera housing, which is slightly altered. Honorable mention, that home button. I don't know what's in the home button, but it kind of looks different this time. Just way more sexy than any other year. Let me know if you feel the same way in the comments. But other than that, you also get some great benefits, like it's a fairly light and a very thin construction. It's built really well. It's a very rigid unibody build and there's absolutely no creaking or bending going on here. So it's fairly strong, and now it's also water resistant. So hopefully one less thing to worry about. Although since it's so fragile, just like any other iPhone, you inevitably would have to put a case on it. But since it would hide all the flesh of the device, I think your best bet would be a bumper case like the one that I have from Rhino Shield, which is built really well, doesn't really add a lot of bulk and looks kind of sexy. But if you're fine covering it all, you can go with the Playproof case again from Rhino Shield, which has got some great designs and wraps the complete phone. I've linked both of them below. But the iPhone 7 at the core is an iPhone, which means it still carries over some of the disadvantages and advantages it was born with 10 years ago. For example, the construction of the device is still one of the best in business. I mean, you already know what I feel about it. It still maintains that not so pixel dense yet a great display, which is actually very vibrant, very colorful, and gets decently bright outdoors. It has a wicked fast fingerprint sensor, but at the end of the day, what really makes the iPhone an iPhone, more than the design, more than the camera, more than the performance, more than anything, is iOS. It's basically the heart of the iPhone, and it's great. I mean, it's faster than ever now, and I've been using the iPhone 7 for almost 2 months now, as I said, and it literally hasn't stuck even once in this time, which is spectacular. Basically, it has evolved with time, but if you look from a macro perspective, it still is kind of same. I mean, what if you don't like the stock icons that come up with iOS? What if you want to quickly toggle on or off your cellular network? What if you want to speed up the animations and transitions all over the software? What if you want to connect it to some other device via Bluetooth? The short answer to these questions is you can't. And a lot of it is because of the Apple's strategy to maintain end-to-end control on their products even after they have shipped them to the customers. But to be honest, this end-to-end control is actually one of the many reasons why the iPhone is so great, but it's also one of the many reasons why it sucks so bad sometimes. But apart from all these restrictions, there are also some weird things going on here and there that I noticed in these 2 months, especially with the new vibration motor, which vibrates at various instances, but it has been failing a lot lately. I mean, it is meant to vibrate every time I drag down the notification panel, but sometimes it just doesn't. It is also meant to vibrate when I force touch any icon, but sometimes it just doesn't. Most of all, it sometimes doesn't even vibrate when my phone is on silent and I receive a call, which kind of sucks. So every once in a while, I have to restart the device to get it working, which is very hard to expect from a manufacturer like Apple and a device like iPhone. But all over these cons, there are a lot of things going for the iPhone. Like as I said, it has the best app store and the great features of iOS or Apple's software in general, which allows for seamless interaction between all of your Apple devices. I mean, the technology itself over here is very advanced. In fact, believe it or not, iOS is actually one of the main reasons why I use the iPhone as my daily driver. It sure has a lot of issues, but they can all be fixed with software updates. But since we know iOS in itself is a fairly light operating system, and so even with the 7, the software and most of the applications are just not taking the complete advantage of the power of the hardware inside the iPhone. But it does not really mean that the processor and so powerful chips inside the iPhone are of no use. One of the major reasons why the manufacturers put in this powerful hardware inside their devices, even though there isn't a lot of stuff that would be able to pull it all off, itself is mainly to be future-proof. The power of this hardware will actually come to its true use with the future software updates, which hopefully bring in much more features that would require the architecture inside the device. But for now, it does have a consequence, and that is mainly seen on the battery life of the device. However, this year, it's been slightly improved, but very marginally. So on a day of medium usage, I sure can pull it off throughout the day, but if I use it a bit heavily, like game on it and use cellular network, I usually have to charge it twice a day to get it through, which is still disappointing. The 7 Plus has way better battery optimization than the regular 7. So there you have it. This is my take on the iPhone 7. Surely a lot of things going for it. I mean, I love the operating system. I just love the way it feels in my hand. I love all the accessories that are being made for the iPhone. I love the amazing cloud collaboration in between all the Apple products that I own. Overall, a really fun experience that I would definitely not want to skip. But a part of me is a bit disappointed because of having to pay a gigantic amount for this experience, especially here in India, since the prices over here are insanely high, mainly because of the amount of middlemen that come in between Apple and the final customer. But at the end of the day, it does not really matter because the iPhone is the most popular smartphone in the world, and the 7 and the 7 Plus are officially the most selling smartphones for Apple. I mean, they have broken all the sale records for Apple and even in the smartphone industry. But most of it is because of the cult status that they have achieved over a decade of run. Sure, they've come a long way, but they still have a long way to go. I also did a video on the 7 Plus that a lot of people have watched apparently. In case you have missed on that, you can check it out anytime. I'll leave it linked below. Thanks a lot for watching this one. Hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to share it, and I'll catch you in my next one. Take care.